Yo, well this is Marcus Braveboy, aka Mr. Marcadi.
And I know this is your boy Young Rud, and this is our OMG interview. Oh well, 2017 has been a really good year for us so far. Our song Mood has been getting a lot of love on the airwaves, a lot of YouTube views. People really seem to connect with the song. It's actually a remake of a 90s classic of Ghetto Flex and Denise Belfon's Rock Your Body. So that's been going on. I've been working on a few solo projects, and I believe Hardy's been doing the same. So yeah, it's been a good year so far, I would say.
I also had the opportunity to travel a bit this year. I went on a tour with Bad Royal. They're an EDM group from Los Angeles, and they kind of took me under their wing. And I did Miami Music Week with them, and also Ultimate Rejects was there as well. I also got the opportunity to perform in Las Vegas and just work on a bunch of different projects locally and internationally.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think we always say it in interviews, but you know, because we have so much music together, people brand us as a duo. But that's why we never really, there's not a name of the group, as in the Nah Boys. Or it's Marcadi and Young Rud, because we always wanted to keep that individuality, because we are solo artists who just ended up doing a lot of songs together on a project because we're very close and we gel well together. But you know, I think 2017 into 2018 you'll see a lot more solo projects, and then we'll come back together to do an Xplicit entertainment project. But Mood is definitely our contribution this year as a team, and the team is not just Marcadi and Young Rud, but Marcadi, Young Rud and Mevon, Soodeen, who did a OMG recently. Yeah, so it's not that we are duo and the duo is split, and it's just that like we've always been solo artists. It's just like now is the time, okay, we finished this project, Xplicit entertainment project, and now we're venturing into, you know, like showing, because Young Rud is very versatile, Marcadi is very versatile, but a lot of people might box us into one style. So the projects we're doing will really show our versatility. Like a lot of people don't know Rud could sing, you know, and a lot of people may not know another side of me as well. I could sing as well. So, and I come from more of a dancehall raga soca background, and I think in our projects you'll more see that come to life.
Just to add some context to what Hardy was just saying, our like initial plan when we started our Trapso stuff was a combination of a lot of things. Firstly, we wanted it to be a project where we gave Trinidad and something to feel good about. It was never initially intended to be for years and years. It was supposed to be a project, and we continue to, you know, work and help each other out with our solo projects. But it just so happened with I guess how the industry works in Trinidad, and you know, money earned and then money spent on music of that caliber, it just made sense for us to keep working together at the time. So our Trapso project is a very, I would say at least, small part of our creative level. You know, we did it as almost as a sacrifice to give some identity back to people. And then when we achieved that, we felt as okay, now like people need to understand who Young Rud really is, who Marcadi really is, what our mindsets are like, what our personal experiences outside of singing about what we're patriotic about is like, you know. So that's the next step. I just want people to have a little more in-depth conversation with me via my music, you know. I'm sure Hardy wants the same. And also, as he said, like our basis, you know, like I'm a hip-hop artist, yes, but I also enjoy singing. I grew up on a lot of like alternative rock and actually metal as well, so I want to incorporate some melodies into my music, which I've been doing a lot, and I'm working on a new mixtape now too, and well, Hardy already told you what he's up to, so more stuff to come in 2017 and 18.
A lot of people don't know, but I actually started off singing soca. At the age of 15, I met a producer by the name of Ken Holder, who was working at Marshall Montano's Ecstatic Studios Limited, and it was actually called Ed Gordon Studios, and he was working with Treason, and I was like the biggest Treason fan, still am, and I got the opportunity to just have him as a mentor, you know, and I had a group called the Breathless Group. Myself and my neighbors, we entered stuff like Youth Fest and Soca Monarch, and I've been through that side of things, and I know that creatively soca is my thing, as in the like core of soca, jump and wave, you know. So I started to experiment. I gravitated more towards dancehall and hip hop, but I always kept that raga soca vocal background. So I think that makes me an original artist, and the solo projects you'll see kind of more reflect that. So my style is called Raga Fusion, and basically Raga would be the vocal style, but I could do it with any style or genre of music. So the projects I release, you will see my Raga Fusion or my Raga vocal style mixed with hip hop, mixed with dancehall, mixed with EDM, mixed with pop, mixed with even rock, mixed with moombaton, reggaeton, Afrobeat, a lot of different stuff. So to me, I just want to show, like, I always call myself the vocal chameleon because I could switch up my voice a lot, switch up my flows a lot, and I would really like people to see that side of things. Also, as Isaac was saying, or as Young Rudder was saying, we have individual stories to tell, and I have my own journey, you know, as somebody, a young ambitious guy, really get involved in different business ventures and, you know, having experience in the music industry, getting to travel, do different stuff. So I think falling in love, falling out of love. I think that, you know, fans would love to see more of who we are, and I think it'll be reflected in the project. There's definitely a rebrand coming soon. I'm not going to talk about it just yet, but look out for it at the end of 2017, 2018 coming.
The first song I ever released was a song called Bright Light, right? And ironically, on that song, I actually sang on the hook. So I've always been interested in dabbling in singing, but I find over the years, like the music we've been doing, I have a voice that works very well on like emptier beats, and we've done more like overpowering beats. So I feel like also on a hip hop side and a singing side, I haven't necessarily been represented to my fullest capacity yet. So a lot of the stuff I'm working on three projects now. One of my solo projects is a mixtape, which is a combination of original and existing instrumentals from popular hip hop songs. And I'm going to be doing freestyles on them, telling stories, speaking of my political views, my world views, just life, you know. So I will get that represented. But separately to that, I'm working on a project that's very much like mood music. So there's mixes of like lovers rock, there's mixes of reggae, there's mixes of just very chill hip hop. So that's a project I plan to release next year. And it's very vocal laden. It's a lot of singing, a lot of different styles. I'm primarily meshing mood music and what do I say, boy? I don't even know what to say. And then separately to that, I know people have probably seen my Instagram and seen me have my name is Hippie Daddy, and I'm like, what's that about? So I've always been like very free spirited, free love kind of person. I'm very much into liberty and people being able to express their full self. So two of my friends, one of them is Anoka, who's a singer, and another one is Jerry, who's a producer. We kind of mesh on that level, and we formed like a group where Jerry's the producer, Anoka and I are the artists, and we're just making all hippie music. We're fusing folk, we're fusing soca, we're fusing hip hop, we're fusing pop, and just making one mesh of like crazy madness. So that's coming. And one more thing I'm doing outside of music. Back in February, I had started a blog, a philosophy blog. And I realized that back then, when I started it off with enthusiasm because I felt like I wasn't achieving everything I could have, you know? So I took a break from it for a while. I spent like a few months honing my thoughts and everything. And I just restarted it at the start of this month, September. So y'all can check it out. It's called The Philosophy. There's a Instagram, Tumblr, and you'll see more of it on my profile if you follow it. So you'll find out writings from me. I take my favorite quotes. I take some of my favorite interviews with some of the what I consider to be the greatest minds I've seen on the planet, and you can just learn from the experiences that I take my knowledge from, I guess. So that's my plan for moving on from this year to next year. So this year you're getting a mixtape. Next year you're getting 2 original projects.
I was gonna say, on my side, I recently went to LA to shoot a music video with my friend Steph Kalu, and the music video should be coming out soon. It's called Boomtown. The single is called Boomtown. Steph Hardy and Mark. Steph Kalu.
Steph Hardy.
Steph Kalu and Mark Hardy. Steph Hardy.
That's a group of us. Steph Hardy.
Steph Hardy. And it's produced by 27 Clash from the Flex Up crew. I'm also a member of a collective called the Flex Up crew, which is DJs, producers, and artists from all around the world. And some of the members include Walshy Fire from Major Lazer, Bad Royal, Richie Lou, Styles, and a bunch of other producers, Carnibaloo from Italy and stuff. So I'm really venturing into dancehall, raga, soca a lot in terms of being a vocalist in that world. I'm getting a lot of opportunities there. Also, I have 2 singles out, well, 3 singles out now in the EDM world. One is called Galaxy Ranger, produced by Bad Royal. One is called Sound Killers, produced by Mo Green. And one is called Get Wild, produced by Cash and Iway. So look out for that as well. Also, solo EP. Definitely working on a solo EP. Hopefully finish by the end of this year into early next year. And other than that, addicted to progress. Always have a clothing line. The online store should be launching soon. E-commerce from Trinidad is very tricky. But yeah, that should be launching soon. And Unplugged and Chill is something that myself and Young Red do every week at Kaiser Blue. So we had to plug that as well. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Don't waste time. Like, I would say that entertainment, generally speaking, is a young man's sport. And every opportunity that comes your way, definitely be efficient with it. But every opportunity that comes your way, make the most of it as soon as you get it. You know, I think that's the biggest thing. Because you never know if that opportunity will come back around, and you don't want to miss out on what you could have achieved. You know, but also never lose your sense of self in creating. And I know one thing that happens a lot in the music world is you have to find a balance between being a creative and also meeting a market demand, you know? And a lot of people get lost in only trying to meet the demand and not being creatives, which kind of makes art lose its meaning, you know? Point of art is kind of to challenge the status quo instead of feeding into it. So yeah, just those 2 things I've learned heavily.
And for me, I really learned that there is a world out there, and I would say this to all Trinbagonian artists, as in sometimes, I mean, even with our journey, initially we weren't accepted here with what we were doing, which is going against the grain, doing hip hop or trapso in Trinidad, and you know, we found a way or strategy to do it, and people accepted us. But beyond that, you know, we're realizing that there are other markets around the world that appreciate what we do. And sometimes, even though you might get, you know, you may not get the most love here, don't give up on a song, don't give up on a project, don't give up on you as an artist, because there's a world out there, and there are so many different markets of people who would appreciate you. And I'd say, like, from traveling, like, sometimes, you know, you might perform here in Trinidad and people might just stand up and watch you. But that, you know, like, I would perform outside and people have no idea who I am and go crazy and want to take pictures. And so you really realize that there is a world out there. And home is home, and you know, Trinidad and Tobago is definitely will always be home on a platform. But for some artists who do different types of music, don't be afraid to explore the world as well while exploring Trinidad and Tobago. I think that's, you know, the main thing I would say. I think for me, I performed at Lollapalooza last year in Chicago with Bad Royal, and to me that was very surreal, as in I couldn't believe this was happening. And also I was in a picture with them on Billboard's website and stuff, and you know, they took like thousands of pictures and they decided to feature that picture on their social media. So I guess those are 2 OMG moments in one, I guess.
I don't know, I had an epiphany recently. If that counted as an OMG moment. I think recently, in doing a lot of the new music I have done, I really only in doing that really took the time to appreciate how much of a blessing it was to have grown up underneath my father. Because working with other producers and directing some of them with what I want, they then tell me like, yo, you really know what you want, and I always feel like I have. And then on top of that, also understanding how to structure songs, how to structure melodies with ease, you know. I don't know where I used to say I don't know where it came from, but then when I started to really think about it, I had the epiphany that ways this happened because I was around this exact kind of moment when I was a kid. So recently I just started to like really appreciate that more, and also that caused me to go back and listen to a lot of my dad's music. I mean, I always did, but just listening to it with that critical ear of doing music myself made me appreciate him 10 times more. And yeah, definitely realize that, you know, the shoes that I have to fill, it's huge, you know, and I can do it, you know. It's that was really, yeah, the OMG moment, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we just want to thank all the fans, friends, supporters, OMG,
yeah,
just everybody in the media. To be very honest with you, I think that throughout this Trapso journey, we've gotten so much support from people. Initially, we felt like nobody cared about what we were doing, or a lot of people told us, you shouldn't do this, you have to sing this type of music, and you wouldn't get away with this in Trinidad. But the support is crazy, and just general respect. I think that like we are people who are respected within the industry, by the heads and by the upcoming artists, and also just by the general public, because we're two humble dudes and very approachable. People see us and we'll talk to anybody. We both give a lot of people advice. And even though we haven't made it as yet, we've also helped a lot of other artists. Even by doing Unplugged and Chill, like we've created a platform weekly for any artist from Trinidad and Tobago who wants to express themselves. They could come and they could actually get paid for it. So, I definitely think that, we're definitely going to continue contributing to Trinidad and Tobago as much as we can.
Yeah, same. I just want to say great thank you to everybody who's ever shown support in any form or fashion, but especially those who've shown support that, in times when I felt to leave music, they've made me realize that this is my calling. I want to say a big thanks again to my dad and my mother, for both of them, for putting me in scenarios that expanded my mind as a kid, both musically and intellectually. As I said, when I had that epiphany the other day, I really have to give him thanks for that. And then my mom too always encouraged my intellectual side. Like my dad is an intellectual that doesn't speak, and my mom would encourage that, and then it would also encourage conversation with him after he realized that I was reaching that level. And that's what caused me to even do my blog. So for anybody who reads that as well and goes on my blog, thank you if you love what you read and see. And that's it really. Thank everybody.
And you can find us on social media, Mark Hardy Music.
At Youngrud, that's YUNGRUDD, across the board. Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, Snapchat, everything. And you could also, if you want to follow my blog, that's The Philosophiend, the PHILOSOFIEND. That's Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter.
And also check out Xplicit Entertainment on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything. Also Addicted to Progress, clothing line, launching soon online. And big up to the Flex Up crew.
Shout out. Well, shout out Deafment as well, Deafment clothing line, two really good friends of mine. Oh, and when I realized I have another local, that's Brimford. And another local MC, Ryle Levi. You all should check him out too, he's really dope. There's a lot of dope talent in Trinidad. You all should, definitely stay plugged in. Alright.
Big up OMG every time.
Girl, put your body in a gear for me. Wine and go down, me, girl. Your body.